Audrey, how's it going?
Hey man, I can't complain. I just saw one of my favorites, call it quits. Weekend was good. It was some good fights on that I got to enjoy it. We got to see some legendary shit this past week, but I'm quite sure you're gonna get right into it, man. But how was your week so far prior though?
Hey, it was a great week last week, busy one, nice weekend. Like you said, we had a busy time in the cornucopia of the sports world. We're gonna get into the Jason Kelce retirement, but we're gonna first start out another episode of Two Things, Two Questions. First question: we got Caitlin Clark and the person that we call King James, both surpassing these huge scoring milestones in the game of basketball. Caitlin Clark, obviously the all-time leading scorer in the NCAA. And then LeBron, first person on planet Earth to eclipse 40,000 points in the NBA. What's your takeaway with this?
Well, with Caitlin Clark, what she did is remarkable. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen some great women basketball players in my lifetime, man. Whether it was the Diana Taurasis, the Maya Moores, the Simone Augustuses, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, all those type players I witnessed, the Alana Della Dons, and Caitlin Clark blew past everybody. You know what I mean? She is the highest scoring basketball player on both sides of the fence of all time. That's a hell of a feat when you think about all the college athletes, male and female, that have been great scorers on the collegiate side of basketball. And she blew them all right out the water. Even Pistol Pete Maravich got past. And that record was standing tall for what, 40 plus, almost 50 years, man? Come on. That might be 50 plus years that record been standing tall. So Caitlin Clark got a salute to you. LeBron, gotta give you your props. You cracked your 40,000 feeling. Nobody is on that plane, that plateau with you. You're by yourself. You are Shang Tsung off of Mortal Kombat. You're the last boss when it comes to points. But I gotta throw a little jab because it wouldn't be me if I didn't. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored over 38,000 points, and he only made 1 3 his whole career. Just gotta give you all that stat. 1 3-pointer. He out of 38,000 plus points, 1 3-pointer is the account for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar buckets. That's it. LeBron played in an era where the 3-pointer was starting to become a thing, and then by the time he was in Miami, and then Stephen Curry was starting to take on, his role as the greatest shooter at the NBA. That's when he was starting to roll around that time. And LeBron got about over 2,300, if I'm not mistaken, over 2,300 3-pointers. So you take away those 3-pointers, where would he be at right now? He'd be right there with Kareem, right underneath Kareem. But you got to give LeBron his props because this guy wasn't a great shooter coming in. He did have a handle. He's a big body, 6'8", 270-pound monster that could just put his head down and drive through anybody. It's like Karl Malone that had ball handling ability. You know what I mean? It's that type of strength. And the brother can't make a free throw. He missed a 1 for 2, but he got a lot of buckets. And that's due to him being healthy. He never torn nothing. All the greats have either torn an ACL or MCL, or they messed their Achilles up bad. And you can name some of your greatest athletes. Jordan went through it his second year in the league. Injuries happen. LeBron didn't have to face that. But LeBron also is the linchpin for what we have today in the NBA, where if you don't play 65 games, you don't get an award. And LeBron and Greg Popovich made that a thing. Players didn't know. Let's not forget, LeBron was sitting on that bench drinking a glass of wine. None of the greats ever did that. But I'm not here to throw shots at LeBron, man. LeBron, all jokes aside, man, you one of the illest to ever pick up a basketball. I'm blessed to say that I come from the same era. And as far as all the 80 babies go, he is the greatest basketball player from that era and up. Anybody that in my age bracket will tell you that. So LeBron, you are on the Mount Rushmore, and you are one of the greatest basketball players that ever picked up a ball. Gotta give you your props, man.
Got to give him his props. King James, a leader in the community, obviously a leader in basketball, or right up there on the pantheon with all the greats. You know, if you pick a top 5 list, you got to put Bron and Michael Jordan on that list.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And everybody's fighting for the other 3 spots. With respect to Caitlin Clark, you and I were chatting about it earlier. Women's college basketball has been on the map lately. Certainly more so, I would say, than men's college basketball, right? You got Caitlin Clark, you got Sabrina, right, who's already in the league, Juju Watkins,
Beast.
And why am I drawing a blank on the gal that we were talking about from LSU?
Angel Reese, baby.
You know? So, like...
Getting the NIL money, though, man. LSU had an off year this year. They had a year they had this year. I think the success went to them, got to the head a little quick, but the NCAA tournament is approaching. It's right around the corner. LSU could get back on their shit, but Caitlin Clark is the animal, man. She's a problem.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, you know, I think that when you look at the new landscape, the NIL landscape of college sports, whether it is Shedeur Sanders rocking the rollie on the field or whatever, right? Or, you know, some of these other folks, you know, even an Arch Manning, this guy, what did he pull down? $2, $3, $4 million as a back?
From the gate, man. Right. He ain't even stepped foot. Just because the name Manning alone, you get that.
Right? So, like, you know, I mean, he's comfortable right there. He's comfortable making that kind of money, you know, keeping his body healthy, learning the game, perfecting his craft. So I think it's an interesting discussion to kind of just ponder, all right, the NBA has been trying to rock with the G League Ignite. You know, you guys got like Jalen Green and Scoop coming out of that program. But, you know, are there going to start being more incentives for more elite guys to stay with some of these college programs a little longer?
Oh, these brothers that's on these AAU teams crushing it, but they come from impoverished communities. This is why these athletes were leaving. This is why David Stern, I am a David Stern hater. Shout out to David Stern for expanding the game of basketball to the global masses. But David Stern was a full-fledged piece of shit. And I'll say that confidently. This guy stopped a lot of brothers from coming out into the draft. And I get it. For every Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady, and Kobe Bryant, you're going to get a Kwame Brown. You're going to get another guy, a jabroni that came out of high school with a line of height. I'm trying to think of guys just off the cuff, but
I don't want to single out Ray for Alston.
Okay, they were good players, but it was a lot more of those guys that David Stern felt weren't ready. But that's a whole nother argument. Don't get me started about that. But a lot of these guys that's in the college game, they nice, but they want to make sure their parents is well fed. You know what I mean? They want to get their parents out of circumstances where, shoot, Carmelo mama was working. She was working while he was at Syracuse at his first year. She was still working. You know what I mean? Carmelo wanted to now he wanted to stay at Syracuse, but Jim Boeheim told him, you got to go. John Calipari, he's one of the biggest influencers of his players entering the NBA draft, especially coming from the communities that I'm talking about. So if the NCAA up their paper, there's enough money for everybody. The coaches is well fed. Make sure them players is well fed. Up that NIL money or add to it in some way where the athletes is now, they like, look, I love the college life. I like the college girls that be running through the brothers line. I like this. And I'm getting bankroll. Why do I got to go to the NBA sometime? You might be able to bring college basketball back to its renaissance years from when the Christian Laettners was at Duke University with the Grant Hills and the Thomas Hills and the Bobby Hurleys or the Fab Five era with Webb, Jawan, Jalen, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson. You might have it back to that level of viewership because those areas of basketball, even UNLV running Rebels with Larry Johnson and Greg Anthony, man, they don't make teams great like that no more. That's why you see Jay Wright leaving That's due to the transfer portal and the bullshit that come with the transfer portal. You don't see Roy Williams on that sideline no more. The game has changed, but that's what they call evolving. So we're evolving, but make sure if you want to keep these guys from jumping to the NBA, put some more paper in the pot, and you'll keep them. They love the college life. They eating good over there. You know what I mean? They got money, got the Ferrari, and they got the college girls. They enjoy life. They're going to stay if you up to pay.
Hey, well said. Very well said. And a quick shout out to Stacey Augman, the Plastic Man, with you.
Oh, man. Come on, man. Anderson Hunt. Come on, man.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. Just want to get that one in there. Okay. So second question here in the program, we're going to do a little Philadelphia recap. We're going to start out giving our props to future first ballot Hall of Famer, Jason Kelce, stalwart of that Eagles O-line, hanging it up for the Birds, one team his entire career. You know, where do you sit with this?
Jason Kelce, you will never pay for another order of food, nothing, gas. You are good here in Philadelphia. He one of the kings. He on the Philly Mount Rushmore, all-time athlete. Yes, for his influentialness on the city, being amongst the community. You know what I mean? Being a beloved figure in Philadelphia. Everybody love him. Yeah, he's a lovable kind of guy. He's a guy, how can you not love this guy? You feel me? So, look, man, Jason Kelce, I wish we would have ended things a little better for you, man. I really do. I really do. I wish we could have just went out there, got you to the NFC Championship. We could see what happened. It didn't work out. It was a lot going on with the coaching staff. A.J. Brown, he said it best on when he called into the radio station. You know what I mean? They didn't play well. It's on the players. They didn't do their jobs to the best of their ability. But Jason Kelce, look, you helped lead us to our first Super Bowl. You got the Philadelphia Eagles their first Super Bowl. That was one of the most epic little experiences I ever had, because I had the unfortunate enough pleasure that after the game was over, after they hoisted the trophy, I was down South Street amongst the people. We was down there. Everybody was filled with joy. Everybody, there was no issues, no crying. Everybody happy. You know what I mean? All races and all that together, loving and hugging, and people going crazy too. You had people out there eating horse shit and all that. Some of them people went crazy. They went crazy, bro. I seen a lot of crazy shit that night. Those people was tripping. I even seen a guy, him and his girlfriend knocked one of the cops off the horse and ride that horse straight down Broad Street like they riding off in the sunset, bro. That was an amazing experience that I ever experienced. I'm going to take that to the grave, man. That was one of the best nights of my life when they won the Super Bowl, and Jason Kelce was a part of that. You're a beloved figure, brother. Thank you for your 13 years of services. You lasted longer than most modern marriages. Thank you, Jason Kelce, man.
I mean, talk about a guy, like you said, just the a symbol of endurance, the symbol of durability, right in the middle of, whatever you want to call it, the brotherly shove or whatever. But, I mean, that play does not work without him leading that point of attack right, in front of Jalen. So, I mean, it's going to be an amazing thing to watch just how that Eagles O-line functions without that guy in the middle of the equation. Okay, so we're going to come back to the Eagles. Shout out Kelce. Want to get a quick feedback on this Zack Wheeler extension with the Philadelphia.
3 years, $128 million. That's a record right there. Zack Wheeler, one of the best pitchers in baseball. He stayed there in Philadelphia with Aaron Nola. They buddies. They're the 1 and 2 starters in our pitching rotation. You'll have them here for the next 3 to 5 years. Zack Wheeler came really into his own after the Phillies plucked him right out the Mets' hands in free agency. The same year we got Bryce Harper, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm happy to see him extended, because had he went to free agency, he would have been the number 1 pitcher on the pitching market. So it's always good to lock up your own. We got Nola locked up. Now Bryce Harper, he want an extension. They're going to give him an extension. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to predict right now. Watch out. watch out for the Philadelphia Phillies. They ain't make no noise, too much noise. They ain't get the sexy name in free agency this year. They just took care of their own and stood pat. Watch out for a Mike Trout trade to Philadelphia. Shohei Ohtani is gone from the LA Angels. He's out of there. I don't see no reason for Mike Trout to be out there by himself in the American League West when the Mariners is getting right. I mean, it's nothing. Oh, what is the Angels going to offer Mike Trout at this stage of his career? They're going to be a losing franchise, and this might be the time for Mike Trout to hit the button. I know he wanted to stay faithful to the LA Angels because there was an opportunity when Bryce Harper signed here. He was calling Mike Trout name, and he was due up for free agency, but he re-signed that deal with the Angels out of loyalty, and also the pressure of playing in Philadelphia at that time. He was about 26 years old maybe when he signed that deal. So the pressure of being from the area, living in South Jersey, everybody calling you, wanting tickets to see you play. You can't go nowhere. Your face is known everywhere from that distance from South Jersey to Philly. I mean, everybody know your face, but to play in your actual, hometown, that's a difficult pressure to handle. But at this stage, I believe he's 32, 33 years old now. Yo, it's time. We're on Mike Trout, and I'm predicting that trade is going to happen. It's going to hurt our farm system because you got to give up a nice haul to get a guy like that. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. Mike Trout to the Phillies will happen before the trade deadline.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that. Well, that is a hot take. Lock that one in. I like it because, as we all know, Mike Trout is a Hall of Fame talent and then some, putting him some Hall of Fame numbers without question. But this guy's got to start playing in the few baseball games that matter.
He has not won a playoff game in his career, if I'm not mistaken. To go this long, and you had some good teams, man, but, guys that y'all signed like Rendon that they got from Washington when he won the World Series that year, why the Nationals won, he left, went to the Angels. He didn't do nothing that he did with the Nationals over there with the Angels, but get hurt, and he got a Husky contract over there, so the pitching staff wasn't always great over there with the Angels. This time, man, you devoted all your time and loyalty to them. They're in a rebuilding stage. The Phillies are a perennial National League championship level team. Look, come on, man. Get this ring, man. Stop playing.
No question about it. No question about it. All right, so last with the Philly recap, we're going to touch on the Sixers. I saw a little piece. You had Nick Nurse and Buddy Hield and the whole squad playing some practice at Buddy Hield's house. And so what have you been hearing about the Sixers squad? Obviously, Embiid, currently rehabbing that injury. What have you heard about just the Sixers continuity with this team now with Buddy Hield in the mix?
Hey, Buddy Hield has been a great addition, man. He opened the floor up for them to get threes and transition. He's a great teammate. And the addition of him and Kyle Lowry, I would say, it has been, a great benefit to the locker room. Kyle Lowry is a seasoned vet. Buddy Hield, he been around for a while, and he's playing on a good team. Now, the Sixers lost Joel Embiid. That hurt, but the big fella is due to come back out of his own mouth. He envisions himself playing the regular season basketball and ready for the playoff push. If you get Joel Embiid back, who knows what could happen in a 7-game series, man. It's all about the luck of the draw of the card, man, at that point. But Buddy Hield, Kyle Lowry, they've been great teammates so far. You can feel the love and the energy that they've been embraced by the other Sixers players, especially Tyrese Maxey, who has now taken that step in being one of the best basketball players. And I'm willing to say a top 20 player in the entire NBA. I'm willing to put him in there in that lane. This brother is handling his business night in, night out. The Sixers might lose a few games or whatever, but for the most part, he's been doing his thing, man. And I'm so happy we got Tyrese Maxey. So, look, man, Sixers, they look fine. And we got a great win in Dallas yesterday over Luka and Kyrie. That was unexpected, especially on the road. Tyrese Maxey had a good game, but Tobias Harris, that's the guy that needs to step up. Tobias Harris, you're the most inconsistent player, man, because you'll have games where you finish in with 11, you 4-18, and then when the chatter and everybody start going crazy talking about you, you'll have a 33, 34-point game just to shut everybody up. Can we get that consistently, please, brother? I like our chances, though, man, and I like our team right now. So thank you for bringing Buddy Hield. I'm hurt. I'm still hurting Pat Beverly gone, but as you saw, when the Bucks came to Philadelphia, what Pat Beverly do? He embraced all the Philadelphia fans, man. We are a big supporter of his pod. He is going to be a Philadelphia guy for a long time. So I love Pat Bev, man. I wish he was still here, but I love the acquisitions of Buddy Hield and Kyle Lowry.
No question about it. No, I'm excited to see this Sixers team, like you said, ratchet some things up come the playoffs, because you don't know. And frankly, there just really isn't a team, certainly in my mind, in the East that can body up person for person with Joel Embiid. So anything, puncher's chance, as they always say.
The Houston Rockets in '95, when they traded for Clyde Drexler, they were a 6th seed, if I'm not mistaken. They took out, Phoenix in the second round. They took Phoenix out, or they might have took Phoenix out in the first. If I'm not mistaken, it's the second round. They took Phoenix out. That was the year David Robinson won MVP. Hakeem took the Spurs out. He destroyed David Robinson in that series, and they went on to sweep the Orlando Magic, a 6th seed. It could happen. That's all I'm saying. It's all about getting hot at the right time. But the difference with that team, they were just removed from winning a championship. So they had championship DNA to do what they did. But I'm just saying, it's all about getting hot, man.
All about getting hot. All about getting hot. Okay, so prediction mode of the show. We're going to focus here on the NFL Combine. We obviously just saw pretty much every daggone position group run a blazing fast 40-yard dash, highlighted by Texas's wideout, Xavier Worthy, just besting John Ross's 4.22. Worthy puts up a 4.2.
Another bust, but go ahead, continue.
Right. Some of these 40-yard dash specialists, it's interesting because when I see some of the dudes that are running, I mean, Xavier Worthy, I'm not trying to throw shade or hate or nothing, but this guy's 165 pounds, and we've all seen what happens with, sometimes you get a Tate Dell who balls out in the league. Other times you get Jalen Reagor who bounces around a little bit. Or right, not everybody's Deshaun Jackson. So
everybody can't be that, man. You either it or you not. And a lot of those guys in that weight class with those burners, man, they don't pan out in the NFL. Again, for every Deshaun, for every Tank Dell, you got a John Ross. You got a Philip Dorsett. You got a Tavon Austin. You got John Ross. Jabroni. So, no. I mean, the talent, you see it, it's there. Everybody can't be a Reek Hill. Reek Hill a little stout to be that little, too. He ain't no little small fry. Like, for his size, he do have a little muscular frame. But all those other guys I said, they were too thin to win. Light in the ass, as we would say. They were just skinny guys, man. Then their bodies can't take those hits. One thing about Deshaun, you couldn't catch him. That the way Andy Reid had the system working for Deshaun, you guys going. I'm taking the top off the lid every time. I'm going Deshaun go route, go get it. That was his specialty. So one of those guys can give you those vibes that Deshaun gave you, a Tank Dell. Yeah, it could work. Xavier Worthy, 4.22 speed. You're gonna be out there dogging a lot of people. That's track star speed right there, my friend. So if you're going to get in the first round, do that. But remember, for every Deshaun, every Tank Dell or Tyreek Hill who was drafted later on in around what, 4th, 5th round pick, and 3rd round pick, he wasn't nothing in the top 2, I don't think. But for every one of those 3 guys, you got John Ross, Tavon Austin, what's the other Jabbar? Philip Dorsett. And all these small fry guys. So please be careful. Tread lightly. These guys are fast, but they don't mean that going to translate in the NFL game.
This is true. This is true. I mean, there is an undue importance placed on speed. We all know why. Undue importance placed on the NFL quarterback position, even though most of these guys do not pan out. So knowing, like you said, the Eagles cut Kevin Byard, the Eagles lose Kelce, salute. So now they got a big whack of the salary cap. Now it's available to them. There's the free agent considerations to be made, and there's the draft considerations to be made. So based on where the Philly is drafting right now, without any trades, who do you like as a prediction to see them pick it up through the draft?
All right, so for me, I'm gonna say two players, but it's gonna be on both sides of the football because I can see these scenarios happening. Chop Robinson from Penn State, defensive end. A lot of mock drafts have the Eagles selected him. I wouldn't mind seeing a guy like that with that speed, that burst off the edge. He's a pure top-tier athlete coming off the edge. Now, he's not a bull rush type pass rusher like a Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has a blend of everything. He's a monster. He's nasty work, as they would say. But Chop Robinson is a freak of nature, too. It says he about 6'3", 6'4", 255 pounds. But he got a hell of a first step coming off that edge, and he know how to bend them corners. So I would love that the put here, because we need some guys out here that can go get the quarterback. And that will help out Jalen Carter. It will help out Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, even Jordan Davis and Brandon Graham. You know, having a guy, elite pass rusher like that. He was elite at Penn State. I would love to see him come here and look for the Eagles to also replace Jason Kelce, possibly. Or want to add to the offensive line mix, Lane Johnson, 33, going on 34 years old. He's getting up there in age. They might be ready to get a right tackle out of the draft. There's a couple of right tackles that's going to be hella beasts, but the two primary guys that are tackles is my guy Fashanu from Penn State and Joe Alt from Notre Dame. So, you know, I can see the scenario where the Eagles trade up to get one of those guys. That don't be surprised if how we pull the trigger on a trade to move up to get one of those tackles. Or they'll wait on the back end, get one of the centers. I believe it's a center from Oregon. He's a great player. He's been considered a first-round pick. There'll be offensive linemen for the Eagles to get, but now that Jason Kelce is retired, I can see the Eagles either going D-line or O-line, and that's what Howie Roseman really liked to draft that. He loved to build off the trenches, and, you know, we need a cornerback. You don't have hella cornerbacks there to select, especially if you stay at 22, 23 where we pick at. I mean, we need a safety. We need cornerbacks. But I think we're going to address the cornerback position by trading for L'Jarius Sneed. The Chiefs just franchised him just so they could get some compensation back from him. They already gave him permission to look for the teams that's offering you the deal. And they're going to work something out. And the Chiefs and the Eagles do good business with one another because of the Andy Reid connection with Jeffrey Lurie. They're going to make that work. Watch out for L'Jarius Sneed signing here. Watch out for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, potentially becoming an Eagle. It depends if this is going to be an incentive-based deal because he get hurt a lot. We'll see how they play out. But I could also see a scenario where the Eagles trade for safety. Buda Baker from the Arizona Cardinals. Watch out for that. And how we got money to play with right now that they raised the salary cap. We just got rid of Kevin Byard's contract, saving up to $13 million on the cap. We in the $46 to $48 million cap space range. We don't have the most, but we can compete with all those other teams that have more cap space, and we can get about 3 players. You got Luvo, the middle linebacker. If they don't address it in the draft, you can always sign him from Carolina. He's a stud linebacker. And a Vic Fangio's defense, I can see him raising his game. There's a lot of things the Eagles going to do, but I see the Eagles really hitting that defensive side of the ball hard this offseason. I promise you that.
I like that prediction. Chop Robinson running the 4-4 off the edge. Eagles are going to need somebody at some point to step into Hassan Reddick's shoes. I think that would be an interesting fit, especially putting a Chop on one side and a Nolan Smith on the other. You're talking about some serious speed to control those outside rush lanes. And, look, I'm excited, being a new Philadelphia Eagles fan. Obviously, I'm a former Chargers fan from San Diego. Just seeing a team that is so well-stocked at every position have an opportunity like this to truly reload on the fly. That's kind of how I look at this offseason for the Eagles, because every one of these spots that they're looking to fill is a strategic kind of, call it just a piece of the machine. That's kind of how I view it.
And watch out for Fletcher Cox if he's going to return. I think he's going to have a swan song too. I think this is it. He's going to retire with Jason Kelce up next. If I'm going to make a prediction, I predict Fletcher Cox retiring, finishing his career as an Eagle. This going to be Brandon Graham's last year. He's a free agent. I think Howie Roseman ain't going to give him the swan song he deserves and re-sign him for a 1-year deal, and he can help mentor these young guys. And look, man, I like where this team could go. We just got to hit on this draft. We have to draft elite talent, get you some linebackers. Hell, if Jeremiah Trotter's son is available and you can't get Louisville, go ahead and draft. Pull the trigger. I know you haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round since 1982 or 81. That's a long time. As a matter of fact, it was 79. That was the last time the Eagles took a linebacker in the first round. Y'all have to switch the method up. No more plugging in low guys you feel like you could plug linebackers in because the front four is so good as you rotate and you feel like they could get pressure all the time. But no, you need some stout linebackers too. And I think this is the year they will address that. And you might see Bradbury. I mean, they go on record say Bradbury is a part of the plan. So more so we're going to keep Bradbury. But hell, move him in the slot if you have to, or if you got to cut him, I don't think there's a trade market for him. So that's how we say that. But man, you get L'Jarius Sneed in here with Darius Slay, and then an emerging Khalid Rango. And watch out for Isaiah Rodgers. He got jammed up with the betting, but he was a damn good cornerback before he got jammed up. We have him on deck too. So the cornerback position is going to be filled up very good in this upcoming offseason, because we got some players and personnel already, and we're going to add to it. So I like where we at, man. We just got to hit on this draft, and we cannot, and I'm going to say this one quick thing. We cannot have a situation when we do get L'Jarius Sneed where it bite us in the ass. I've seen us go get Troy Vincent from free agency to pair with Bobby Taylor. That was a great quarterback tandem. I've seen us draft Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown in the same draft. I also seen us go get Asante Samuel from the Patriots, and he became he was already a stud. He was a stud here. But I also seen the Eagles go get Nnamdi Asomugha, who was trash when he came here. Victor Cruz, first game in the NFL, first regular season game, he had over $130 on Nnamdi Asomugha, damn near $130. He started his career with Nnamdi. Then we went and signed Byron Maxwell, the best number 2 cornerback, because he was opposite of Richard Sherman at the time. He was a bomb. I just hope it don't bite us in the ass. So I'm throwing that out there. So I hope we have some good juju. I just hope getting a cornerback who was great in one system, it don't always translate. I've seen it backfire on me. I just hope that don't happen, man.
Hey, and cornerback is one of the most difficult positions in pro sports. For every J.C. Jackson that's a Pro Bowler with one team, he becomes somebody who's getting moved around on other rosters for another team. So, hopefully L'Jarius Sneed, if they pick up a guy of his caliber, comes through and plays at the level that he's expected to.
Absolutely. I just wanted to throw that out there, man, because I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
No doubt about it. Andre, as always, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for the education. Fly, Eagles, fly. And we'll do this again next week.
Yeah, fly, Eagles, fly, man. We'll do it again next week.
All right. Much appreciated, man. Talk to you soon.